Here's what I've heard people say all the time. I know Notion is the solution. I've seen what other people have done with it. I've watched the YouTube videos, but when I sit down to build it, I either get really overwhelmed trying to figure out where to start, or I can never seem to make it work how I want it to work for me. Like, it doesn't look anything like what I wanted. And here's the thing I think is the sticking point for so many of us when it comes to Notion. We don't have time, capacity, bandwidth, whatever, to go down the YouTube rabbit hole required to build the Notion systems we want, especially if you were a business owner. You're already juggling multiple apps, and as we enter the holiday season, that time, that capacity gets more and more finite. But the emotional and mental costs of juggling multiple different apps is just making your life harder, not easier. And the emotional costs too, the feeling of feeling scattered, behind, like you're going insane, trying to remember where did you save these various different things, right? You know you need systems, but whenever you open Notion, that blank slate is paralyzing. I have been building Notion templates for years at this point, and these feelings, these emotions are exactly why I think they're such an important place to start. And the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme of all of these templates is my Solopreneur Life and Business OS, which has gotten a little bit of a name upgrade because it really is designed for those people who are solopreneurs, entrepreneurially curious. They want their life and their business to live in one single centralized hub, and that is exactly what this template allows for. But I named it strategically because this isn't just a template. It is an operating system. It's not just a pretty dashboard. It is designed around 3 core principles. Nervous system awareness. This is where your systems and your self-care, your mindset, your boundaries come together. Because when we build systems that support those things, it's beyond productivity. You are literally building a lifestyle and a system that allows you to become burnout proof, that allows you to regulate your nervous system while you're getting shit done. And if you have ADHD or other learning differences, or constantly feel overwhelmed, this is gonna allow you to work with your brain and put the things at the forefront that you need. Second, this is AI powered. When I updated the template this year, I had 2 primary goals: mobile optimization, because I've been working more and more on my iPad lately, and secondly, AI driven. My belief about Notion is it is the top tier productivity system when it comes to working with AI. And with the level ups we got this fall with the Notion AI agent, it is just getting better, better, and better. So this version of the template includes my full AI C-suite. I built a Notion AI agent that is a 6 persona C-suite. You have a CEO persona, a CMO persona, a CFO persona, and more. Plus, what makes it even better is it not only learns you, but it learns your system, and it can help you build and optimize it. One of my favorite things about the Notion AI agent is that you can literally tell it something you want to be incorporated into your systems. I project plan all the time, and I'm not manually creating those tasks and those projects anymore. The AI agent is doing that shit for me. Amazing. And then lastly, like I said, mobile optimized, because you're not always working at your desk. Neither am I. And your system needs to be able to go wherever you're going to go, and it needs to be able to work. Plus, if you need any support, you got any questions, you need customization help, I have a free school community, so you don't have to go at this alone. With that, let me give you a sneak peek inside of the system.
All right, so this is where we really get into the meat of the walkthrough. Now, know that I built this Solopreneur Life and Business OS differently. This isn't just meant to be a pretty template. It's an operating system designed around 3 core principles. Nervous system aware design. So you're going to find it is built to support your self-care with habit trackers and journals throughout this thing. It is built to support your mindset. So you're going to see in the daily pages, the check-in and check-out pages, there's little quotes, little, manifestations and reminders built inside of here. And it is built to support your boundaries, not just with productivity in mind, but very much if you have ADHD or you feel constantly overwhelmed, this is meant to work with your brain. Your template is always your starting point. You should be refining it, tweaking it so that it fits with your brain as you use it. It is also designed with AI-powered assistance. We can see our little AI agent in the bottom here. And one of the things that is built into this, which I'm going to dive into a little bit more in the future, is our C-suite Notion AI agent. This is a place where you can see kind of my behind the build, how to customize your AI agent. Really, the gist of it is go through, fill in these blanks with your name, fill in and answer the different prompts throughout here. add in your personality assessment, which I'll give you a little bit more detail. Anything I don't cover in this video, head on over to my school community at coachellen.com/community so that you can know what you need to customize and even how to go about customizing it. Okay. So we've got our AI agent in here, and it's got a full AI C-suite inside of here. So if you look here, you will see there's six different personas: the CEO persona, the chief marketing officer, chief sales officer, chief operations officer, chief experience officer, and chief financial officer. So it is a full C-suite agent team to help you run your business, and it learns from your system and also helps you build it, which is really freaking cool. And then lastly, I have gone through and mobile optimized this entire thing. When you open it up on your phone, on your iPad, it is going to have the same feel to it, the same vibe to it. Notice though, I often collapse this little sidebar over here. I do recommend doing that when you are working on it on mobile, because I understand that you're not always at your desk and your system needs to be able to work wherever you are. So let's go ahead and let's start to dive into the different aspects of the system. So we have our main homepage here. The main dashboard here has a master database section at the top here with different sections. So this is kind of our home section, our daily pages, our planning, our actions and our goals, our capture, our areas, and our business pages. Now you can go in just like always and customize any of these views to look exactly how you want. Maybe you want it to be a little bit more compact. Maybe you prefer a table view. You can customize this to be however you would like it to be. These are also sections that are filtered by these different categories. So if you want to lay out and change what appears in these different sections or create different sections, you are welcome to customize this to your heart's content. I've got links to the cover photos and things that you can go ahead and customize down here, but we've got a place for you to put your image of you, your goals, your weekly goals, your monthly goals. And then this is where all of your tasks are going to show up. This is meant to be filtered by the things that are not waiting for, snoozed, etc. And then also the things that are not completed. So then as things get completed, they move out of here. And then it's showing you everything that's due on or before today. If you prefer a calendar view, you also have that calendar view option here. And then these are also some widgets that you could add. And these are just screenshots of these widgets. So you're going to need to go in and add those widgets if you want them here. But like I said, I generally don't use the main pages. I'm really more often than not on these pages, which is part of the reason why I built out this dashboards database, because I find this to probably be the most helpful thing that I personally am using. I have a quick capture, which this is always pinned in my system. It's got a place to quickly capture meetings, SOPs, tasks, notes, items for your library, things that are in your tackle list. Now, I differentiate things that go in your task inbox versus things that go in your tackle list. Things that go in your task inbox are things that have a due date to them and have a timeline on which they need to be completed. And things that go in your tackle list are more ideas that you want to capture for later. Then your new contacts and your new clients. How I would differentiate this if I were you is the people who are literally asking questions or, seem to be interested in some of your services are going to go in your new clients. This connects directly to your clients and CRM database. Whereas over here, these are more people that might be in your network, in your community. Maybe there would be people you might invite on your podcast or experts you might invite to interview inside of one of your communities or one of your programs. Or maybe these are just new business friends or accountability buddies you are connecting with. So you can see this goes into a contacts and people database. So these are two separate databases. I only bring people into my client and CRM when they are people who have expressed interest or seemingly would be a good fit for one of my programs versus people who I'm learning from or who I feel my people would learn from or who I would like to have on the podcast. Those are people that go over here. So then we've got our content ideas HQ. I use this to capture content ideas. Now, my quick capture page is something I have pinned all the time inside of my Notion, so highly recommend using this page. Then I've given you the rough frameworks for my daily check-in and daily check-out pages. You are going to want to go through and you're going to want to change. This is your word of the year right here. You're going to want to change that for whatever your word of the year is. Now you can see right now these check-in and check-out pages have dummy habits. So you are going to need to go through and add in your habits. And this is a synced block. It's synced to 16 other pages inside of this Notion system. So when you change it here, it changes it everywhere, which makes it really, really handy. Now, what I do is I log my habits, then I do some alignment where I will read through my life vision. I will listen to a finances manifestation. And these are actually some of the manifestations I literally do. And then I will go in and I will set an intention. And when you click that button, it's going to create a new intention inside of your intentions database. So that's what that guy is. And I have a lot of them coming up in Side Peek because I personally like that. And then this right here is filtered to show you whatever's day's pages we are on. It's a Sunday as I'm recording this. So this is Sunday's day page. But as you know, if it were Monday today, Monday's page would show up here. It is set up and filtered so that it is only showing you the page that is today's page. Okay. So that is another really handy aspect of this system. So that's our daily check-in. And then you also have a daily check-out page as well, which is again a mirror of my current system. Any of these that you want to tweak or update for yourself, please do. This is your template. It's meant to give you a starting point, but I don't recommend exactly using my system. Then we have our habit tracker right here. The biggest thing you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to go in and you're going to want to change these habits, okay? So you're going to want to change the name of the button and change the name of the habit down here. How this whole thing works is when you click the button, it's going to log that habit inside of today's habit. So you'll be able to go in and see what habits you logged on what day. And then it will also go ahead and count up as those habits start getting logged. So it's showing that we've logged 1 for today. That's all that's in here because this is filtered so that it's only going to show today or the past 6 months, and it's not going to show anything where the habit is empty. You'll also be able to down here to go in and designate what your habits are. I have some places where you can say the implementation, when you're going to start tracking this habit, when you're going to end, how many days per week you want to track this habit, and then it uses this to calculate your total progress. Now, these properties are just meant to help you display. So when we're down here, we can see we've completed 4 of 20. The last time you've logged it was today, and then the percentage, all of those are automatically calculated from the setup. So that's the habit tracker, and you're going to see that that habit tracker appears on a number of pages throughout this. So those are all the things on the home page. Then we've got the daily pages, and this is where it's really going to start to get customized for you, okay? We have a page for every single day of the week, and as I've said many times on YouTube and in my systems, these are the pages that I'm personally using the most day in and day out, week in and week out. I really don't work off of my homepage dashboard, my homepage HQ. I just find that I really like having pages that are customized to exactly what I need on that given day. So if you've never heard me talk about this before, I'll go ahead and link some videos for how I've designed my systems to support my schedule at the top here. But in a nutshell, I have different themes for different days of the week. So I then lay out these pages to support those different themes for the days of the week. So Tuesday for me is a client day. So I link it to my current clients, my active clients. Wednesday is a community and visibility day. Thursday is my content day. So you can see all of these pages are designed to reflect that. I highly recommend customizing that schedule so it fits you and it fits what you need. But that's what all of these daily pages are meant to be for, is they are all customized so that they represent whatever the theme for that day is. We also have my planning. Now you get access to my, proprietary, which sounds so silly to say, but these are my systems for doing my weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly reviews. The template will automatically apply when you apply the page, but you can also go in and tweak these templates to your heart's content. This is currently what I do when I am planning, when I am reflecting. All of these are currently set up to replicate and show you exactly what I'm doing. But we have one for the month, we have one for the quarter, so on and so forth. So these are my systems, and I do this usually over the weekend for the week, generally either the last day of the month or one of the first couple days of the month for the month, early in the quarter, and at the end and beginning of every new year. So you get access to all of those. Then we have our actions and goals. One of the first things I have inside of here is something called a life handbook. This is meant to be kind of a goal setting place. It's a place where you can go in and kind of describe what's your vision for your health. And I've got some kind of inspirational photos in here that are ones that I have. What's your why for your health? So just kind of to help you create a game plan for yourself of like what you want in these various different parts of your life. Same thing with emotional. We've got some prompt questions to help you navigate what do you want your emotional future to look like. So all of these different things are prompts. And then what I personally did is I went into this life vision page and I had AI actually help me answer all of these questions based upon my answers on the other pages. So it's a great place to help you kind of craft your vision for what you want your life to look like. Okay. Then we've got the travel planner, which same idea. There's going to be a linked video in here that kind of walks you through exactly how to use this, but it's exactly how it sounds. It's a place to help you plan your travel. So like we could kind of compare this to my travel planner right here, which I have not done a lot of planning. I've actually gone to all of these. Shows how updated I'm keeping this, but you can see inside of here that I have been planning trips in here for a while. And I kind of use it to keep track of like, what's the rough schedule, what's the itinerary, what's my packing list, so on and so forth, where I'm staying, stuff like that. So that's kind of what the travel planner is meant to be for. And you can also use it to keep track of places that you want to travel. So like, for example, I have the Ring of Kerry on here as a place that I want to travel. I want to do the Wonderland Trail. I want to do the Santiago de Compostela. So you can keep track of trips that you want to go on inside of here as well. So it's kind of everything in this section is really very much derived from things that relate to actions and goals. The habit tracker is linked in here as well. We also have an OKR goal setting dashboard, which I'm really proud of over the years. I've gone through and I've really eliminated the redundancy in this tracker, but it's a place where you can set your objectives, your projects, any active key results that are related to those projects. And then you can also see there's a link to the reviews here as well. So great planning page. And then last but not least is the productivity hub. Now, really, I don't work out of the productivity hub too often, but it's where you can see your tasks database, your accomplishments calendar, which is something I do at the end of the day, as well as a link to your projects database. So then inside of here, we've got our capture system. So again, I already talked you through the quick capture page, habit trackers, daily check-in and check out. And then our areas. So you will see inside of here, there are a lot of different areas, and each of these different areas has kind of some different styles of dashboards to help you organize things. I'm going to go ahead and open all of them. But again, I'm going to go ahead and have links on each page for best practices and how to use these. So highly recommend checking those videos out, just because I won't have time to go through them in this entire video here. But we've got tons of pages here for the different various areas of your life. So first and foremost, we've got a corporate career dashboard. If you were in corporate, this is a great place to keep track of projects, goals. And then if you're a manager, this is the team tracker that I've created. This is the exact team tracker I used when I was a manager. I had a page for every member of my team. I had an image of them, their strengths and their specialties, their growth points, a place where I would keep track of my meetings and meeting notes with them, and then any tasks that were related to that team member. And then I also had a place to keep track of meeting notes. Then inside of my business hub, let me actually show you my Coach Ellen HQ business hub, because this is really like, they're exactly the same. So I have a little quote here, I have my why, I have my mission, I have some quick links, and then I've got these various different resource pages, task inbox, notes inbox, active objectives, active projects, so on and so forth. Though here, what I've done for you guys is I've got your quick links, I've got your gallery view of all of your different resources, and then I moved the active objectives and active projects down here. You can also add a place where you can see the tasks that are related to your business only. So for example, we could go in and we could do tasks. Let's make sure I've got the right task database. So this one right here. We'll do this week's tasks. And let's make sure it is set to week. And then you could always go in and filter the tasks by those that are associated with their business hub. So that gives you a great place to be able to see the tasks that are specific for your business. I just generally don't do that. I usually just dump them all together and work off of my daily pages. Now, inside of here, there's so much stuff layered into this business hub. There is a marketing and advertising section. And inside of this marketing advertising, we have a place where you can see your campaigns. So like, for example, for me, if I go into marketing and advertising, some of the campaigns that I have running right now is I'm currently working on my Black Friday promo. I'm going to be doing a year-end CEO reset. I'm going to be doing an AI-driven business summit in the new year, which I really would love to see. Let me go ahead and change this. I want to see the dates so I can keep track of when these things are happening. And then I'm going to have a January New Year Notion promo and challenge. I can also see the pieces of content that I still need to post here. And then I've got kind of some information about my funnel here as well. So that's kind of some of the stuff that's on this page. I also here have any website updates I need to make, my biz branding visuals. So I have like my colors, my logos, my fonts, my controversial takes, kind of a little mood board for my brand. I've got my content creation hub, which I'll talk about that separately. which my content creation hub has a lot inside of it. I've got a content calendar page, which this is also pinned inside of my systems, and it works exactly the same in the template. And then I personally have like a podcaster and a YouTube pages, and I have a ChatGPT content audit that I've set up. So whenever I want ChatGPT to audit my content, that's there. So all of that is included here as well in your content creation hub, your content calendar. There's a place where you can outline your buyer persona, a place where you can keep track of content analytics over time, which once you actually have information in there, this is what it's going to look like. So we'll let mine populate and you can see my content analytics over time for my various different content. I use a third-party extension called Notion Social that automatically pulls that data in, which is so handy. There's also a place where you can see your SEO and keep track of your SEO. There is a place for a B-roll tracker, a networking tracker, a place where you can do pitch tracker, and an email marketing tracker. So the email marketing tracker is your content hub, but it's filtered to only show you your email newsletter. So you can keep track of like open rates, unsubscribes, subject lines, so on and so forth. So lots and lots and lots of stuff happening inside of there. Let's go ahead and go back to the business hub once again. We also have the products and services hub inside of here. The products and services hub, as it sounds, is a place to keep track of your various different products and services, as well as the sales that are happening from those various different products and services. There's also a user journey map, product launch tracker, core tools and teachings, and client resource library. Again, to kind of explain this, I'm going to show it to you in the context of my dashboard, just so you can kind of see it with content inside of it. So I have all of my services, products, templates. So those aren't all of my templates. And then I can see kind of the overall view of the stuff that I've sold, how much stuff I've sold, the nitty-gritty breakdown of the different services and offers I have sold. I also had a members hub, but the big thing I want to explain is the client resource library and the core tools and teachings. This is a place where I upload all sorts of resources that my coaching clients can have access to, particularly my one-on-one clients. And the beauty of this is linked to their client portal as well. So it's all sorts of resources that I've uploaded over time. And you can kind of see them by type of resource. I have where'd they go? I have apps. I have Ellen's resources. I have resources from a certification I did. I have books. I have podcasts. And this actually is an automation that is connected to my RSS feed for my podcast. So every time it publishes a new podcast, it gets added to here. Software, so on and so forth. So that's a really handy resource library for one-on-one coaching clients. I also have a core tools and teachings. So this is kind of where I keep track of my core tools and teachings, as well as if they have a tool that is like a tool in my resource library that is linked to them, then I link it here. But sometimes it's just great ideas that I found on social media that I will pull in here and I will add as a new tool and new idea that I've used. So that's the products and services hub, and that's what it's going to look like when you start to build it out. Then we've got our operations hub. So inside of operations, you're going to have a place to put all of your forms. So here I've got all of my Coach Ellen forms, my offboarding, contact and message center, check-ins, intake forms, all sorts of different forms. I've kind of started pivoting to Notion for all of my forms in my business. So I just put them all onto this one page so I can keep track of them. So that's kind of what this page is meant to be, is a place to store all of your forms. Place where you can do meetings, software and apps, so you can keep track of the software and apps that you're using in your business and your costs that are associated with them. My burnout-proof business review, which I highly recommend checking out. I just explained this review actually in a training that I did for a summit, and I'll go ahead and drop that link in here. And then we also have these sub pages. So business profile, which is just a great place to keep track of kind of important business information, your mission, vision, and values for your business, SOPs for your business as well. Referral and affiliate links, which this page seems so simple, but I cannot tell you how often I use this page, my referral and affiliate links page, for when people ask me about Notion Social or ManyChat or AccuFlow or Notion in general, so many that I want to send them links to. And I've also used to start keeping track of the networking groups and whatnot that I'm a part of to send affiliate links for those as well. So very, very handy to have all of your affiliate links in one place. Then we have a Notion hosted course template. What this is meant to be is if you're planning on hosting a course inside of Notion, that is what this is it's a template for how to go about doing that. Though I would recommend, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it right now, making it full width, because these narrow width looks really weird on mobile. So that's that. And then we have a business audit right here, which is something that I do once a year. and is something that I got from a previous program that I was in that I had modified. And then because so many of us are using AI more and more and more and more, I created an AI resource page for you to keep track of the different AI resources that you use, AI prompts that you really like, custom GPTs that maybe you want direct links to. And then I also have a link to your AI agent documentation here as well. Okay, so this is how you can go in and store and change and modify your AI agent. So that is our operations page. Let's go ahead and go back to the business hub. So you can see this is very much optimized for people who are solopreneurs. The sales hub is also another page that I love. It's a place where you can keep track of the sales as they come in your business. It's also a place where you can keep track of your client CRM. But again, let me go ahead and show you what this is going to look like when you actually start to have data inside of it. So you can see here, I'm able to keep track of my sales by month, my sales by product, what's crushing it, what's not. I also can keep track of my average customer lifetime value, and I can keep track of the sales as they come in to my business, including like who's buying things. I'm not going to pop these open to keep them private, but like, for example, when you add a new sale into your sales hub here, you can link it to a client inside of your client CRM so that you can keep track of how much your clients have spent. So it keeps track of the client lifetime value or the customer lifetime value. There's also an outreach dashboard here. I usually open this up when I am doing networking to help me easily add in new people in my network or people who might be new prospective clients. So it's a really, really handy place to just kind of have everything in one place. Again, just so you can kind of see what it looks like when it actually has data in it. So these are the different groups I'm a part of. These are my core offers. I have a lot of follow-ups I need to do. Any new contacts, recent conversations, any new clients that I need to sign, new leads by status, clients that I need to manage, sales and sale results, and then sales by month and sales by product. So it's a really, really handy place to just be able to keep track of networking kind of as you are doing it. And then naturally your client CRM as well, which again, I would recommend making it full width just so it's going to look better on mobile. That's kind of something I've learned as I've been mobile optimizing everything, that the narrow view just doesn't work on mobile. So I highly recommend making everything a full width. Now, the last thing inside of your business hub is going to be a mindset, because I do think sustainable mindset is absolutely part of having a burnout-proof business. So we've got some stuff in here, the mindset journal with all of my core questions for kind of building out your mindset behind your business, a proof journal. Here's how I use my proof journal. My proof journal is where I take screenshots of great questions or comments or things that people have said about the work that I'm doing that I think is just a really powerful reminder sometimes when you're not feeling too great about how things are going in your business. I actually really need to go in and do this for all of my tutoring clients as well. And I'm going to need to start like filtering them by type, make my life easier. But that's kind of how I use my proof journal. And then I also use this to kind of map out what my ideal week looks like. And I have a lot of kind of trackers and calculators and whatnot in here that can be really helpful for figuring out what is actually feasible during your week. That is the business hub. So you can see there are so many things inside of here for the business hub. Let's go ahead and let's look at the health hub. So the health hub is just like it says, stuff related to your health. And inside of these, we have a bunch of sub-resources. So under the health sub-resource, we have physical symptoms, medical visits, supplement trackers, sleep trackers, period trackers, and water trackers. And these are all optional to use. There are some that I don't use on a day-to-day because I'm tracking them in other ways. In the nutrition, we have a recipe tracker, which I actually use this all the time to help me plan out recipes. We also have a fitness tracker, fitness planner, fitness challenges, body progress, and exercise library. And then we have a mental and emotional health tracker. And I actually probably use this one the most of everything. We have a place to track your intentions, feelings, improvements, energy, and any significant events, which you might have seen when we were inside of the daily checkout page. This is actually something I do to wrap up the day. I'll track an accomplishment, a pleasant event, an unpleasant event, and a gratitude. A lot of this derives from something I learned about and did when I was taking a mindfulness-based stress reduction class, the MBSR class that is a very, very popular stress management class. These were some of the tools that I got from that I integrated into my Notion systems. And I think it's just one of the many ways your Notion systems can support your self-care and your mindset and your nervous system. So I built these and incorporated these into the system. Our next area hub is our personal growth hub. In here, we've got a place for your life vision, your knowledge hub. Oh, I use my knowledge hub all the time. This is so handy. I literally use it to save all the books I'm reading, the articles I'm reading. Like, just check out how like beefed up my knowledge hub personally is. Like it literally adds, and I'm currently using, oh God, what's it called? Readwise, which pulls a lot of my highlights into my Notion system. So it's super, super handy. I also use it to like, whenever I do AI research, I will use move my AI research into this, or like if there's research and videos that I want to watch, they get moved into here as well. So like this baby is constantly has stuff getting added to it, and it's all underneath my library. So really, really handy thing to have your knowledge hub inside of Notion. I can even teach you guys inside of my school community. One of the things I'm going to show people is how to use a web clipper to quickly add things to Notion that are content that you want to consume, which is also very handy. So we've got our knowledge hub, a place where you can keep track of quotes and lessons, Notion notes, and Notion notation and resources. I also have something that I call my standards, which are just kind of rules that I have for my life, like relationships, health, spirituality, experiences, selfish stuff, money related things. It's just kind of rules that you try to live by, not about perfection, but just to kind of give yourself some standards that you're focusing on abiding. There's also pleasant events calendar, unpleasant events calendar, communication calendar, gratitude journal, which is something that I do on my checkout as well. And then the personality assessment. Now, the personality assessment is something that I highly recommend filling out if you're planning on using the Notion AI agent. My Notion AI agent gives me custom instructions based on my personality, and I like go all in on my personality assessment, let me tell you. Like, check this baby out. So I have my INFJ, and I've actually even done some in-depth research on my INFJ here. That's my Myers-Briggs. I have my Enneagram, and I paid for an in-depth analysis of my Enneagram a while ago, and I embedded that PDF inside of here. I have my human design projector, but let me go ahead and link it because I actually have a human design research that I did on being a projector. There we go. It's right there. I have my astrology in here. I have that I'm an upholder for Gretchen Rubin's 4 tendencies, and kind of how my various different aspects of my C-suite can utilize this information. So my personality assessments page has gotten super long because I just keep anything new I learn about my personality, I basically add to this page. So that's what I recommend doing here. And you can even see when I was in my personal growth page that one of the other things that I personally did is I added all of my profiles into here as well, just so I could have them on quick access. So that's what I would recommend using this personality profiles section for. I've got my Enneagram 3 uploaded here, my human design, so on and so forth. I also personally have a vision board in here. So that's something that you can use this space for as well. So personal growth hub, really, really handy. Then we've got our finance hub. And I recently redesigned my finance hub. I have been using, and I put it right here, I've been using the Finicom app to automatically pull in transactions into my finance tracker, and it has been helping so much. Highly recommend automating your finances. And I really, really like this view to see your income, your expenses, and your net income coming in. You just have to link Finicom to pull everything into your transactions database. And then we've got some AI-driven properties in here. We've got AI-driven properties to sort what type of transaction it is. Is it an expense, income, transfer, investment, credit card, and then the purchase category as well. And it's set to autofill this view. So there is some AI based in this finance hub, but I'm obsessed with this finance hub. I don't feel like I've been as on top of my finances as I am right now. Then we've got a spirituality hub. So there's a place for meditation and breath work, but perhaps the thing I use the most in here is the journal. There are various different types of journal entries you can do, or you can just use some of the templates that are already built in here. Lastly, I have a relationship tracker. So here is my people CRM. I actually use this to keep track of family and friends and their birthdays and their addresses, who I'm sending Christmas cards to, old clients who I want to stay connected with, professional connections, authors and thought leaders whose stuff I love. So that's kind of my people CRM, which is very different than my business CRM. I'm single, so I have date ideas. Then I have a place where I have my core relationship values. And I also have some other things in there because, again, I'm single. So if you want more details about how I'm kind of using Notion to support my dating life, let me know. Then lastly, we've got a recreation and fun hub inside of here. Really, the biggest things I have in here are my bucket list and my dopamine menu, which these are empty. But let me go ahead and show you what they look like once you start to fill them in, because this can be a really fun page once you start to fill it in. So again, dopamine menu. I've given a whole bunch of a description of what it is and how the dopamine menu works. But basically, it's supposed to give you a bunch of different activities that are of varying sizes. Appetizers are quick things, sides are quick things, entrees are things that take a little bit more planning, a little bit more logistics, but it's just to give yourself a whole bunch of ways to not have cheap dopamine, but have really earned, powerful dopamine coming into your life. I'm working on integrating this into more of my self-care. And this is just another one of the ways where your nervous system meets your Notion system, when you can kind of bring that support into your system to give yourself those reminders. My bucket list, I basically copied everything over from Pinterest into my bucket list here. Places I want to go, adventures I want to go on, accomplishments I want to learn, habits I want to integrate, things that I want to do in my life, so on and so forth. And then I think the last thing I personally added into my recreation fun is a place to keep track of tattoo ideas, because I have a lot. So that's the recreation and fun. Next, we've got the home hub. Inside of the home hub, I have a place to keep track of outfits. So what I've been doing is I've been bringing a lot of stuff over to Pinterest, because it kills me when like links die on Pinterest and I lose track of things. So I've been bringing a lot of this stuff into here. I've also been bringing my vehicle maintenance log into here so I can keep track of my very old car and how I am or am not taking care of it. And then pets and vets. So if you're keeping track of vet visits for various pets, this is a place to do that as well. My pets and vets visit is empty, but I've been using the clothing and outfits a lot. I also had a tracker that I used when I was apartment hunting that I've had a lot of requests for in the past. If that's something you would like to see and you would like to see me share, let me know. This is my home hub. So I have a lot of like screenshots about how I would like to maybe tweak my apartment. Though these are very overly green, I will say that. But I have a lot of vision boards for my apartment here. And then inside of outfits, you will see here, I have a lot of outfits that I really like. I actually own this one. Yay. Very on brand. I have a lot of clothing staples in here, whether they're things that I need to buy or things that I have. And then I have a whole bunch of other stuff like my vehicle tracker here, which I have this in an Excel document and I just need to export it into here and I just haven't yet. And then last but not least, we have a contribution hub. So
here's what you're getting inside of the Solopreneur Life and Business OS. You get a pre-built framework that teaches you Notion as you use it. You get a nervous system aware design for ADHD brains. You get documentation to have your own AI C-suite that is customizable to you and to your business. You get a mobile optimized setup so that you can work wherever you're working. You get free community access to ask your questions and get customization support. And you get complete setup walkthrough. If you already have this template, go ahead and head to coachellen.com/community to join our school community and get that customization support you may need. It's basically where we workshop all of this stuff together and I give you guys even further behind the scenes and insights into my systems. And if you've been on the fence about buying this, here's your moment, because every single time I release the next iteration of this planner, it goes on sale. And this time around, it's going to be on sale on Monday, November 24th for the first day of my 5 days of deals, Black Friday, and on Cyber Monday. The link is in the description if you want to check those things out. Here's the tipping point for so many people when it comes to Notion. Essentially, they open up Notion, start with that blank page, try to build the thing they want, either realize their version is too basic or realize that it's going to take forever to build what they actually need to build. And usually at that point, they throw up their hands and say, screw it, I'm just going to buy a template anyway. So you might as well buy one that is designed with your nervous system, your neurodivergence, and your business in mind. That is literally exactly what this system is built for. So stop staring at the blank slate and start working with a system that actually works. And if you have any questions, I'll see you in the community. If this was helpful, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. I post content every single week that is really about where your nervous system meets your Notion system, and I would love to have you along for the ride. Before we wrap up, go ahead and drop one comment below that is the feature that you are most excited for inside of this system. I read and I respond to every single one. But with that, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Get your hands on that Solopreneur Life and Business OS on sale right now, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, my friends.